Hello, everybody. Dave Duford here at Duford Insurance Group, where I train and recruit agents across the nation to sell final expense and Medicare successfully, both face-to-face and over the phone. And today we're doing a deep dive interview into the day and the life of an average insurance agent. So I've got a longtime friend in the business, Mr. Thomas Dixon, on the line. Thomas, say hello.
How you guys doing?
Thomas, thanks so much for being here, man. It's been what we've been working together, like 5 years, something like that?
Just it's getting there.
That's crazy. You're getting gray on your beard now, man. You know, it's been a while.
I'm not gonna dye it.
That's right. So I invited Thomas to come on because he's a nice guy and he's been doing this business a long time. And a lot of people on my channel are newer. They're interested in selling insurance or just starting to sell insurance and want to know more about what it's actually like to sell insurance from a day-to-day standpoint. So I figured have Thomas come on and kind of talk about it and kind of give us a good idea, a good perspective on what an experienced agent does day-to-day in the field. So Thomas, why don't you kind of take it away and tell us a little bit more about yourself, kind of what you sell, what state you work in, that kind of stuff.
All right, so my name is Thomas Dixon, and I'm originally from Monroe, Louisiana, live in Baton Rouge, and I primarily sell to seniors. My market is final expense, a little bit of term, a little bit of whole life. I'm licensed in Texas, Louisiana, and Mississippi. So I do a little work in both those states, but majority of my clients typically tend to be final expense age clients.
And for the new agents out there, can you kind of give us in a nutshell what final expense is all about?
Okay, final expense is a nice marketing term. It's really a small face value whole life insurance policy, typically between $2,000 up to about $35,000, $50,000. And these policies are primarily used to take care of final expenses or maybe leave a little bit of a lump sum to a widow. So it's not a big policy and there's not a lot of moving parts to it. Very easy to explain to seniors.
So how does your day start when you sell insurance? Can you kind of take us through getting up and running? What do you do first thing when you get started? Take us through your day as you proceed.
Okay, a typical day for me is I wake up, I check my planner. Matter of fact, I use my little planner right here. I just try to keep things in my head. I can't keep all the appointments and all the reminders in my head. So I check my planner to see who I'm supposed to call, check my Google Calendar, who I'm supposed to call. And if it's a appointment day, my first appointment is typically around 9 o'clock in the morning. They give me a little time to drive to them. If it's not an appointment day, then I'm making phone calls, following up, doing some content marketing, things like that.
So you're kind of doing a bit of a couple of things, and this is good for new agents to hear. You're obviously running appointments to go sell insurance. But it's not just about sitting down and selling. It's also about finding prospects. It's about finding people who are interested in selling insurance, correct?
That's correct.
So, and this is kind of the thing with new agents, right? Is, how do you find people to actually buy what you're selling? That's kind of the old $64,000 question. Because if you can master the prospecting process, what experienced agents will tell you is that the business becomes a little bit easier to handle. So how do you find interested prospects? What's your methodology in finding people who want to listen to you tell them about insurance?
The first thing I would say is I use this analogy. My mom still sells Mary Kay to this day. And there are women right now who want to buy Mary Kay lipstick, but they cannot find a reliable or a lady that sells it. So the transition to life insurance is there are people right now who want to buy life insurance. They want to buy it. They just cannot find an agent to sell it to them. So I come with that mindset that I can find. There are people looking for me. I just got to find them. So I do Facebook marketing, Facebook ads. I'm a all of the above type of agent. But if for a new person, typically I start with either direct mail leads or you can go to your family, friends, or maybe your network. But the key thing is, they understand you're brand new. They know you don't have to know everything. You know more than them, so you're already in the captain's seat. Just ask them, kind of give them a quote. Most of the time they're gonna say, my grandmother wants some life insurance anyway. I didn't know you sell life insurance. I had that a lot when I first started. So just talking to people, they will tell you folks who looking for life insurance, you can get about at least 3 to 5 lay down sales as a new agent.
So I want to expand on this because this is a mindset thing I had a problem with that I've since changed, and I wish I had recognized this earlier on. And it's this idea of selling to family and friends. There are people who absolutely think if you got to sell to family and friends, it's not good. To go bother people you like, they'll stop taking my phone calls and the fear of that stuff. But I can tell you personally, my mindset has changed in that. I think that's the wrong mindset to have. What's your thoughts on a new agent talking to friends and family to finding life insurance opportunities? Is it a good idea? If so, why, or is it a bad idea?
I think it's a good idea for two reasons. Number one, you're brand new, and if you make a mistake in front of your family and friends, they're not going to give you a hard time. It's not as much pressure. And number two, it also depends on what type of insurance you're selling. Now, if you're selling final expense burial policy, it's not a lot of explaining to do. And they understand the concept. They know my mother's in the 70s. We don't have life insurance on her. So it's not a big leap to explain things to them. And again, they know people right now that need life insurance. They just can't find the agent. Once the family knows that you sell life insurance, they're going to refer people to you. Guarantee that.
Yeah, and that's the thing that kind of people are, and I'm speaking for myself, but I think a lot of people think this idea that and MLM has really kind of pushed it to this way that you selling something is a bad thing to your friends and family. And like so much in life, it's how you do it more than anything. People want to do business with people they trust or they like. I mean, that's the essence of sales. And your friends and family most of the time like and trust you. And a lot of them need insurance, but they're not out there saying, hey, I need life insurance. It's something they think about, but they don't make public because it's a strange topic. And the only way sometimes you got to let them know about it is just to tell them, hey, y'all need it. Here it is. Just reach out to me. And what's crazy now, Thomas, and I'll let you kind of tell me what you think about this, but me thinking about this now, it's like you as a life insurance agent have such an important job that you can help a family out in ways that other people cannot. And to hold that back and at least just not even tell the people that you care about the most about what you do, that you could help them. And what if they died and didn't have coverage, but you could have helped them? That's a real thing, isn't it?
It's a real thing. And for me, the first two policies I sold was actually my friend's parents, his mother and father. I sold them both a policy in the kitchen, on the kitchen table, just like you see all the stories. And he was one of my first clients, and actually the father passed away, but the policy was over, it was out of contestability, and we did the death claim. Everything worked out fine, but his family became my family. But those were friends that I got my first couple sales from. But you said something about MLM and doing network marketing. If you're a person that did a lot of network marketing and you didn't really stick with it, there's a good chance your family may not kind of trust you starting out. So if they are apprehensive, don't take offense to that, because maybe you did MLM 2 years ago, you did it for 3 months and you dropped it. You can't do that with life insurance. People want to know you're going to be around before they give you the information. So it may take your family maybe 6 months to a year before they come around to want to do business with you, because you may have a history of starting and quitting.
Yeah, they're testing you out to kind of see is he serious this time? Is he going to do it? It's funny you mentioned that. I didn't sell my mom a policy because my mom's like, she doesn't like to be sold kind of stuff. And I didn't sell mom a policy till 6 to 12 months in. And then dad, I didn't sell him his term policy until 2 years in, but that's not the only reason. That was because I didn't tell him. It just eventually it came up, but it's if you're kind of a repeat offender in MLM or something, they may just be wanting to see how you do, which is why there's other alternatives, right? I mean, like you mentioned, you've got direct mail, Facebook. There's other strategies out there, guys. So you don't have to market your warm market. There's plenty of other options out there. So I'm curious, Thomas, what kind of tips, based on your experience, when you find a prospect, what do you say to get them interested in what it is that you have to offer? Can you kind of give a new agent some advice on kind of how to frame the conversation with a potential prospect to get them intrigued as to what it is that you're offering?
Yeah, I'm gonna use there's marketers that talk about you have to ask the question that they're already thinking about. So I don't always say, "Can I give you a quote?" Usually I ask them, "Who's your life insurance agent?" Because no one asks that question. Who's your life insurance agent? Or when was the last time your agent looked at your policy? Because you're not directly asking them, do you want to buy life insurance? You're making them think, well, I don't have life insurance, or well, I got insurance for my job, but I did talk to my husband about. So you're getting them thinking. It's indirect because it's a pattern interrupt because they expect you to ask them, can I give you some life insurance? They expect that question, but they don't expect you to say, who's your current life insurance agent? When was the last time you had your policy reviewed?
It's almost like you're making it their idea that life insurance is something they need. So they are asking you. It kind of sounds like that, which is good. It's better than putting the idea in there. They're the ones asking you with that setup. That's good. I like that.
Absolutely.
So that's how you're getting them. And then you convert it into some kind of appointment, right? To go see them face to face or over the phone. So expand on that, because now it's the end of 2020, start of 2021. We've just lived through the COVID pandemic and continuing. So a lot of business for some agents have moved completely over the phone, sight unseen. And a lot of agents who are getting started are wondering, should I be selling over the phone? Should I be selling face to face? How are you selling face to face these days? Do you do all face to face? Do you do telesales? Do you mix? What's kind of your arrangement in getting in front of prospects?
I am 95% face to face. The phone sales are typically people, they're just too busy for me to meet, and we just do an online application over the phone. I do the e-app, send it to them. But my business is 95% face to face. It did slow down after they did the first shutdown. About a month, I pretty much didn't do anything. Thank God I was in a position where I could fall back and I was okay. And then I think around the summertime, it opened back up. Some people still apprehensive about meeting, but I say around July, people was okay. And I was doing face to face, of course, taking all the precautions. But again, most people I meet, I'm not a cold prospect. They kind of know of me already. So there's a little familiarity before I meet them.
Right. Because you're getting a lot of your business through referrals, as we'll talk about here in a little bit. How does a typical sales presentation go for you? You sit down, you meet with them. What are you doing to convince them to buy from you?
Ask questions. Ask lots of questions. I don't let them, because sometimes you talk to people, they will talk a lot, and you have to kind of steer the conversation back to what you're there for. But I ask them, why do you want to get life insurance, or what do you want this life insurance to do for you? And let them tell me what they want, because we may have a preconceived notion about what we think it should do for them, but he may already have a policy. He just want to get a little small policy for his grandchild. You don't know until you ask. Or they may need a big policy, but you came in trying to sell a small one. So I let them tell me what they want. And then, of course, we go to the fact finding. But basically, I let them talk first to figure out what I need to do with them.
What would you say the most important question to ask in that presentation to help you sell the deal? You said questions are critical. What is the most important one to ask?
Mm-hmm. I think the most important one is, what do you want a life insurance policy to do for you? And then from there, they'll say, I want this to take care of a funeral. I want to leave some money to my wife. I want to leave to my kids. And based on what they tell you, you can then, my presentation is pretty much the same, but it's flexibility to say, if he already have this taken care of, he doesn't want a big policy. Let me just give him what he wants. I give him what he wants, but maybe he wants to get a big policy, and I let him talk and I figure it out. I said, okay, well, this is what you want. Here's how we're going to get this, because at the end, I didn't tell you what to get. You told me what you want. I just made certain give it to you. So it's asking those important questions like that.
Yeah, guys, if there's one tip that I can give as a manager myself that trains agents, it's you got to know the why. You got to know what it is that they want and why it's important before you can present anything. And as soon as you accept that, you're going to find out there's a lot more sales opportunities out there than you're probably seeing. Now, how about the close? You know, we're on YouTube all day, and if you do YouTube searches, you're going to find, you know, the 3 things to say to close any deal, or, you know, different closing tactics, et cetera. How big is the close at the end of your presentation? What are you saying to quote unquote close the deal?
I do a recap on what we talked about, and I repeat back what they told me. So I'm not putting anything in their mouth. I'm not misunderstanding. You said you wanted to do this. You said this is what you wanted to do. Based on what you told me, here are some options for you. And I shut up. I learned this way back, and I used to do telemarketing. I used to do outbound sales for Sprint. And there's an old guy. He told us that in the class. He said, when you make the offer, be quiet. Don't say anything else. And I still do it to this day. I show them the numbers. I shut my mouth. Don't say a word. Let them speak next.
What are you showing them when it comes to numbers? Are you showing them like 1 option, 2 options, 3 options? How do you show the face amount, the premiums? How do you display it to the client?
You know what? That depends on how the conversation started. So if they tell me they only want to pay X amount of money for a policy based on, you know, what they wanted to do, then I will go based on the monthly premium, like $600, $700 a month. But if they tell me I want to get 15,000, first I ask them what made you come up with that number, and that's ask them on why questions. And once I figure that out, then I show them the number that they said they want, maybe a number above that, and $1 million. I never go below what they asked, because that's what they asked for.
Right.
So I go above that and maybe a little stretch, because something, you know, you don't count people money. You don't know what they can spend. I had to learn that the hard way. I don't count people's pockets. They'll tell you if they can afford it or not. Don't think for them.
Yeah. Do you remember any particular? I mean, you ever remember a situation where you walked into a house and you're like, man, I don't know if there's like 2 pennies that rubbed together, and then you're like shocked that they got way more than the average. Do you have a story like that you could tell? I'm just curious if.
Yeah, I've been in some apartment complexes that typically people who are on low income stay there. You know, and I could be wrong for saying, but you would assume that. But this person wanted enough to leave to 2 people. And I actually had to stack 2 policies together. And so they ended up buying like $50,000 worth of whole life insurance. I was not expecting them. It was a smoker. So for new people, smokers, they're gonna pay more money. And I said, hey, I'm letting you know right now, you know, smoker rate's gonna be more expensive. I don't care. I want this for my family. I ran the numbers to them, and they got both of the policies. And I was like, okay, hold it up. Still in the books to this day.
Yeah, you know, this business is a humbling experience. You know, you learn you can't judge, man. You just got to run the appointments, help people, and don't prejudge. You know, your clients you'll be shocked sometimes. I know I have been too myself. So now with insurance, you know, especially life insurance, and there's certainly some other products as well. It's not just a sales profession; it's a service profession. And now, Thomas, you do some things that are much more service oriented than the average life agent. Can you kind of describe kind of your service orientation towards you being in the life insurance business?
Mm-hmm. Well, I live in Louisiana, and I'm a notary. And notaries in Louisiana are very different from all other notaries except maybe one other state. In Louisiana, a notary can do anything a lawyer can do except represent you in court. So typically, I help my clients. I don't really do wills because you can kind of, if they leave out details that should be in the will, it can mess them up. But the client needs like power of attorney stuff, affidavits. I typically would help them out with that. And I let them know up front. Sometimes I've gotten sales because they found me as a notary, and then they say, oh, you sell life insurance too? Of course. Okay, let's do business. Also, I always call my clients. Most of my clients are friends with me on Facebook. I already knew them. So I can't go ghost on them because they know how to find me.
Yeah, and also one thing you do a lot of is death claims. Can you kind of talk on the death claim side of the business?
Yeah, the death claim, the death claim, you have to set it up when you first write the policy. You got to let the family know, let the beneficiary know, when that time comes, this is what we're going to have to do. So they know when the death claim happens. I always tell them, call me first. I've had some people call the insurance company and I found out in the email, but I typically had them call me first. As soon as I find out, I download or already have the death claim form. We go fill it out and I let them know, look, we got this filled out. Once you have the death certificate, let me know. I'm gonna come get it. I send it in. I like to do the death claims myself, just to handle that part. But you definitely have to start at the beginning and let them know how it's going to work before that person died. I'm glad you brought that up because veterans, if an agent is dealing with a person that goes to the VA for their medical services, when that person died, the VA, of course, you're gonna have to send a release form to the VA. The VA is very particular about who they give out information to. I have a case where the VA told the wife, hey, we think you're the wife, but to make certain, we need you to send us a copy of the marriage certificate before they release the medical records for the claim, because it was a contestable claim. So if you're dealing with a veteran, let the spouse know, have your marriage license available just in case we're going to need that.
What do you think? Because this is one of those things in the life business that you can let the company handle entirely, at least in the final expense side. You don't have to do death claim service work. What do you think the advantages are from your perspective as the agent helping the client with the death claim?
The biggest advantage is they know you care, because a lot of agents will sell a policy and then never see them again, never, not a phone call, anything like that. And when you come back to do the death claim, the family see, okay, I remember he came to my dad's house to sell my policy. Now he's back to make certain everything goes right. And they're gonna tell them, you may not get that back that same day because they're going through grief, but a couple of months down the line, somebody will call you who remembered you coming to their house to do that death claim. So it's a residual effect that you're gonna get from doing that.
Yeah, I know a buddy in the business. You probably heard of John Duggar. He's been around forever.
Yeah.
And he's been doing death claim work, service side stuff for years. In fact, he said he switched from having the policies delivered to the client to him delivering them. I think it was back in 2014 or 15. And every single year he's made more money working less leads. And along with servicing death claims, it's been great because you get referrals, you get quality business, people that really want to, find it honorable that you were there when family most needed them. And it's a different business than working paid lead, which kind of brings me to my last question here before we wrap this up. We talked briefly in the beginning about the different ways to get in front of prospects, different ways to find prospects. What do you think your favorite lead generation strategy is for you and your business, and why?
Number one, referrals, and after that, content marketing. But referrals is that's the best business. It's the best.
What do you like about referrals? What makes it so special compared to other forms of marketing?
Well, the referral, the work is already done. You have someone that's advocating for you already. They've already told this person, his name is Thomas. He did my mom's insurance. He's knowledgeable. They're gonna sell you to that person. So by the time you meet them, you're almost just writing the order, because they already know about you before you get there.
And compared to purchase leads, it's a different presentation, right?
Yeah, you have to get over, I don't want to say overcome, but they don't trust you that much because you're just a guy walking in their house with a bag. So you have to kind of break that ice a little bit. But with a referral, they've probably already heard about you. They looked you up on Facebook. Your friend probably showed a picture of you, so they know how you look. Everything. They're warmed up before you get there.
What do you think your close rate on referrals are relative to, say, paid leads?
I hate to say 100% because that just won't be false advertising. I would say 97%. Only reason why, because sometimes when I meet these referrals, they may not be ready to, sometimes people say, well, come back in the beginning of the month. They say things like that, or it's a scheduling, like they want it, but it's a scheduling conflict to get in front of them.
Right. And guys, for you new guys, compare your purchase lead, if you're closing 25% of your direct mail leads as a whole, that's fantastic. So, going from 25 to 97 is a pretty big difference, which reminds me, one of the things we wanted to wrap up this call is to tell you about a new program that's based around this idea or strategy of generating referrals. Thomas and I are collaborating on this, and it's really designed for those agents out there that like the idea of referral generation, that like the idea of getting quality leads in a way they don't have to pay money for. Thomas, can you kind of give us a brief description of what this program is about, and then I'll jump back in and kind of tell the audience where they can find out more.
Oh yeah, it's created for the brand new agent, for the seasoned agent who's been around longer than me, but maybe needs some refreshers on certain things. And it's going to allow someone to create the environment where getting referrals will become easier for you. So it's not just telling you what to say, it's a holistic approach to create the environment where people know who you are, and the probabilities of them getting your referral is a lot higher versus just asking them, who do you know they need life insurance?
Yeah, it's a complete system. It's not just a script. There's a process. There's like you said, I think there's a great description, holistic way of doing this in order to make it work. And what we've collaborated on here, guys, is an entire system, a course, if you will, to do exactly this. So if you're interested in generating referrals and you want a strategy from an agent that's been doing it for years, Thomas is the one who created the course and put this together. And here's what you need to do to learn more. There's going to be a link above or below somewhere down here. Just click that link. It's going to take you to a web page. It's going to go into a little bit more detail about how this program works, what the prices are, what some more of the benefits are. So if you're interested in this style of marketing, you can be brand new to the business or just about to start or experienced. If you know the value of referrals and know that there's value in it, then this is something you're definitely going to want to learn more about. So click those links, learn more. And in the meantime, Thomas, thanks for coming around and doing this interview with me. It went well, and I appreciate your insight.
Hey, thank you for having me. And if you're a new agent, this is not a race, it's a marathon. You don't have to hit home runs every time. Just learn the process, let it unfold in front of you. Don't feel stressed out.
Thank you, Thomas. Appreciate it, man. See you next time.